Hello and welcome to 30 Minutes. I'm Patty Stalker. I'm here today with John MacKinnon, and he's the music organizer of the Blues and Brews Festival, which is held every August at the Neshoba Valley ski area. I thought it'd be fun to have John come in and talk about the behind-the-scenes aspect of how he organizes the musical side of the Blues and Brews and how he gets the particular artists that play every year to come in and play at the festival. So welcome, John, to Westford Cav.
Happy to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about the Blues and Brews Festival. So It is a Westford Rotary event.
Fundraising event, yep.
Fundraising event.
That's the primary purpose of it, yep.
Okay, and it's this is the 16th year.
It is.
And so how did this all begin as a fundraiser, and who started it, and how did you get involved?
Kathy Dupre, a local Rotarian, is a home brewer. She wanted to have a brewing festival, but she needed to pair it with music. So she contacted the Boston Blues Society, and that first year they helped her with the music. Festival was all organized, and then I went to that festival, and then from then on I helped her put together the music for up to now in the festival.
Why
so
you?
But like, why? I'm just a huge fan of blues music. I love it. I absolutely love it.
But how did that transpire into being able to? I mean, here's a guy. All right, you're a printer, you're a designer, you love blues. How do you know how to go out and find a band? How did that start? What was your first step?
Oh, well, part of it is, there's a lot of local blues bands. I met a number of them at the first festival as well. A lot of local bands, and then...
local how?
Local Boston area. That's what you would consider local, to be in the Boston area. So from there, and then once the festival itself, the first year started, after that, it kind of got on the map, and bands start contacting you, primarily local bands. And then that word gets around, and then it gets to other people and bigger artists, and then you start looking into larger artists, and then you get connected with agents and booking agencies and agents for bands, whether it's in the United States or in London. I communicate with an agent in Germany, in London, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and 3 in the United States.
So it just sort of snowballed from there.
Exactly, right.
And how many years did it sort of take to get to that point? So you started out with like local Boston bands for how many years? And then when...
Every year our headliner, I believe the headliner for the first year was Jay Giles.
Wow, really?
It wasn't the Jay Giles band, but it was Jay Giles and
He just died recently.
He did, yeah. Jay Giles and Blues Time, which was Jay Giles and Magic Dick from the band.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rest, then some other players. So that was the headliner, and then there was a lot of local bands. So it was always easy to find local bands. And then once you get connected with an agent and you know the budget that you have, from there on it's, okay, you talk to that agent, you find out what is in that budget level. And then you kind of get that piece all set almost year to year. And then from there, it's just a matter of picking a variety of bands to keep the lineup interesting.
How exciting was that for you?
Here
you are, just a blues fan, and then you start working with these bands and these agents, and all of a sudden...
The most rewarding part of it for me, personally, is when everything is... I'm getting goosebumps. When everything...
It's hot in here.
When everything gets flowing... it's just the way the festival is.
I get it.
When everything starts flowing with the show, and I'm standing in the back, everything's going well. The lineup of bands is going really well, and it fits together really well, and it's a little bit of a different scene with every band that's up there. So satisfying.
So how do you choose the fit?
Each year, it's usually that headliner. It's a little bit. Part of it is crowd reaction from the previous year. What was successful, what wasn't, or what could you do a little bit different? How do you mix it up so it doesn't seem like you're doing the same show every year? did you have too many bands that were really guitar heavy, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan style guitar playing? Did you have any horns? Did you have any keyboards just to keep it interesting?
I was lucky enough to see Stevie Ray Vaughan at the Paradise Theater years ago.
I never did.
Yeah.
I live out in Hubbardston, and he actually played at the PACC in Gardner.
Oh yeah.
Just prior to me moving out there, and I didn't see him.
I was an intern.
I became more of a fan after he passed away.
Yeah. I was an intern at WBCN at the time. I was in college, and I was right up front. That sweat was literally. I'm serious.
Lots of fun.
That was a good thing. That was a good thing.
Yep.
But anyway, I digress. So you get the fit, and you learn from year to year.
Right.
And then.
And the budget dictates that too.
Oh, and the budget dictates that.
Right. If the question has come up. All right, John, what do you think we need to do to take the crowd size to that next level? Well, naturally, it takes dollars. So that next level of performer, you need to add X amount of dollars to get to that next level. And it's a balance, though, between putting all your money in the headliner and being able to fill out a good lineup below that without making it look like everything's with the headliner.
Right, and you have these sort of, less experienced, you don't want too many, small, less experienced bands.
Well, we always open the festival with the winner of the Boston Blues Challenge every year
from the
previous year.
So what's the Boston Blues Challenge?
Boston Blues Challenge, it happens every year in the fall, and it's any blues band can, and it's all original music. Any blues band can put their name on or put their name into the Boston Blues Society to compete in it. And it's over a series of weeks, and then they dwindle down the bands. Then they have a final, and it's just voted on by a board of people on the Boston Blues Society. I've been a judge in the past for that, and the winner of that goes to the International Blues Challenge in Memphis in February. And they compete against usually about 180 to 200 bands from all over the world.
Has a Boston band ever won? Do you know?
I know they have two categories. No. They have a band. I mean, it's been around a long time, but they have a band category, and then they have a duo category. And there's been bands that have won the duo category in the past.
So
and runner-ups and that sort of thing.
No, that's cool. I mean, Boston's really just rich with with Berkeley, and I was an Emerson student, so but so has that been from year one that the winner of the okay.
As a matter of fact, the first year was Chris Fitz was the opening act, and I was immediately hooked on his music because he was a Stevie Ray Vaughan type player. I was like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And we've been actually friends ever since.
So you must have really expanded your.
And he's playing this year, as a matter of fact.
Oh, is he?
He's playing again, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Okay, so let's just roll right into that. So have there been many years that you have repeat performers? Yeah,
I've kind of taken the cue a little bit from another festival. There's a festival up in Maine that's been around, so they just had their 22nd year. And they have, their general rule is they do not repeat bands for 5 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, there must be like a,
And usually with us, it's 4 years. I've actually... one did repeat at 3 years, but it's usually 4 years, just to keep it fresh.
Right,
people want to see new stuff. They want to so-called discover bands, and you can't do that if you have the same bands are successful. They come there, they I want to see them again. But part of it is you don't bring them back that next year. You bring back a whole new team of bands to try to get people interested in those bands that they may never have heard of. I brought a band in from Halifax, Nova Scotia, I think 3 years ago. Fantastic performers, won a lot of awards up there, the East Coast Music Awards many times. And I vividly remember this woman coming up to him afterwards and saying, I have never heard of you before, but you are awesome. And that's exactly what a festival is all about.
Absolutely.
See the bands that you know, but also discover bands that you've never seen. But they've been playing for 10 or 20 years.
Right.
They just haven't been exposed to that audience.
Now,
and that's what festivals are about.
I know.
In general.
Absolutely.
And I actually got that band from the band up in Maine. I saw him there. Afterwards, we struck up a conversation, and he got me in contact with his agent, who I booked other bands through. So that's really what it's like. That blues community is very tight, very open, very honest, and it works really well.
So you started out not really knowing how to necessarily book a festival, right?
Yeah, generally speaking. I mean, it's you gotta. You learn stuff from the agents, and you learn from past mistakes, just like anything else.
But that's what I'm saying. So then you've it started out as a one-day festival 16 years ago.
Yep.
And now it's become this 2-day event.
Yep.
And grown greatly over the last, 3-4 years now?
Yep.
And how much time do you spend?
From now to the festival, it's going to be Blues and Brews all the time.
Right,
pretty
right.
much. But the process, generally speaking, it's ongoing all the time, at least with me. But it starts the week after the festival to some degree.
Right.
There's bands that play at other festivals that I say, I'd love to bring them in. And then you contact that agent and find out what the number is. And then, when you're doing a 2-day festival and you have a certain budget, you got to make the lineup good on both days and allocate money properly and have the lineup work both days. But try to also make the theme a little bit different, at least I do, on that second day. The second day is going to be bring your dancing shoes.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what is the first day?
The first day is, I would say, a good piece of it is the Stevie Ray Vaughan style festival. Nikki Hill, the headline artist, is strong female lead. That's something I've always wanted to have. We haven't had that at the festival, a strong female lead in the band. She's just the vocals in the band. Her husband plays guitar. It's a 5-piece band. And from 1 minute, she will get you dancing, and the next minute, she'll play an AC/DC cover, and you will think she's the next AC/DC band.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So she's the headliner on Saturday.
Correct, yep.
So when does the music start, and when does it? So I know the doors open at 10:30 both days.
At 11 o'clock.
So oh wow.
Between 11, I think it's 11:15ish in that area, and then it ends at 7 on Saturday.
Okay. And what about on Sunday?
5 bands on 5 stage bands, main stage bands, on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. Then we have side stage performers that play in between the bands while they're setting up a band, and that's where Chris Fitz will be playing on Saturday, I believe.
Really, I can't think of where's.
It's actually right next to the Fan Central booth.
Oh, okay.
It's a small 8-foot square stage.
Okay.
With a tent over it, an amp, and they bring all their equipment and.
That's a lot of music going on there.
Yeah, and it kind of it draws people in to go through the Fan Central area where people can buy CDs and T-shirts and get an autograph from some of the artists and pictures and.
Yeah, you can talk with them.
It's drawing. You want to draw people into that.
Yeah,
so that's all part of the planning. It's the stage. The second stage was added, I think, 4 years ago, for that reason to keep things flowing. With it being a beer and a blues festival, there's a little bit of a separation between the beer and the blues, distance-wise.
Right.
So when the band stops, everybody naturally goes over the beer to refresh the beer, but you want them to come back over and draw them into Fan Central to, again, meet the band, buy the music. I mean, a lot of where they make their money is on the road is selling their CDs. We've had bands that have sold $1,000 worth of CDs at the show.
Wow.
So it's a moneymaker for them, and it's a great place to meet the band, get your CDs signed.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
It really is.
And a lot of times too, at least it's happened that way. Is the side stage person, solo or a duo group has a full band, and sometimes it's a little bit of an audition for them to play next year on the main stage.
Great idea.
So that's happened before.
Oh, that's a
so
great
the
idea.
duo winner of the Boston Blues Challenge of 2016, which competed in February 2017, is playing the side stage one of the days.
Oh, good. So it's just sort of keeping it all like rolling
and
together.
both of those guys are in separate bands. They have
gotcha.
full bands that play other places. It's a very tight-knit community. I mean, Chris Fitz has had a number of players that are in other bands now, and they all know each other.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Now let me ask you this. So how hard is it to get, because I'm assuming you're probably paying maybe less for these guys to come and play because it's a non-profit event, or
yeah,
no?
to a certain degree. Yeah, part of it is that there's always a back and forth, like a negotiation with a car.
Right.
When you're buying a car, it's
Right.
really no difference. It's generally, I mean, since I've been doing this for the past 15 years, you generally know where a band is at,
right,
money-wise, and then I'm just like, I'm not going. There's no way I can go near that, so I don't even approach that. So I know, generally speaking, just from over the years and talking with other festival organizers, what people are getting paid, and every single place that this same person will play for a different price.
Okay.
It's just all in the negotiation, and having that, not necessarily a strong arm of being a nonprofit, but the whole point of it being a nonprofit. We're there to raise money, not necessarily to break even,
right,
and have great performers. We want to raise money, and we do a very good job at that. And I know that a lot of the bands, I'm sure of a handful of bands that I know have played the following week for triple the amount of money that they played for us.
So why
across the country.
So why do
and
they?
part of that is because of flights and hotels and certain things like that. And then some of it's, bands are already in the area. They got a tour set up, and they
Right.
can swing into our festival and help that nonprofit out. And a lot of them, Gary Hoey in particular, is big on nonprofit. He interacts really, really well with the crowd.
Yeah, he was there last year. He's great.
And he talks up that whole nonprofit aspect of it. Raising money for charity. So that's what it's all about. In the end, that's really what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, right? And I'm guessing some of these guys, say like Gary Hoey, might talk to some of his colleagues and say, dude, you should, you should do this. It's a great cause.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, obviously this is their livelihood.
Right.
I mean, Gary does this full time.
Yeah.
But he plays 200 dates a year.
Right.
It's different in different situations, and it's no different than negotiating anything else. So you'll come in with a number, or they'll come in with a number, and I'll say, well, I have this, and a lot of times you meet in the middle. And sometimes I'm just like, there's no way I'll talk to them, and I'm like, I can't do that number. Let's move on.
Right. Now so you mentioned to me before we started recording that there are actually, some of these bands are coming to you to play.
Oh yeah.
At the event.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
There's a number of them that will contact us afterwards, but it's usually the headliner type band typically is not. They're on the road all the time. I definitely will get contacted by the agent saying, hey, what do you want to do this year? What do you need this year? Can we put a package together for you? Day 2 of the festival this year is actually 3 of the 4 bands are from one agent down in Florida. So it's that day is what's called, in my mind, is Blues Pro Talent Day. That's the agent in Florida.
Yeah.
He's actually coming up to the festival.
Great.
So he'll see all 3
Wow, he's coming up from Florida.
Yeah,
Nice.
so he'll see all 3, him and his wife, and we're going to put him up and all that. But he'll see his all 3 of the bands perform, so it'll be nice.
And the sound engineers and the mixers, the bands all bring their own, do they not? I think I see them changing, or do you have your own sound guy there? Or does it depend on the band?
No, we hire a sound company.
Oh, okay.
It's out of Greenfield, Mass.
Oh, okay.
Klondike Sound, fantastic.
Yeah.
They actually do the sound for the Jazz Festival.
Oh, okay.
They do that. They're parked down there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And
so they do it. I mean, sound mixing is so important.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
it can make or break a performance.
Right, but part of all
they
that,
are really good.
Yeah, but actually last night I was communicating with the sound company, and what they need from us in advance is stage plots. And in part of those stage plots will have all the gear that that band is going to bring, and then that will help them decide on what they need to bring for their sound, so they're always prepared regardless of the band that's going to play. If they know someone's bringing in keyboards and 2 horns,
Great.
they know how many mics they need and
Nice.
how many amps they need and feeds and all that. And we've had a couple of years where we've had to bring in some special things, but it's all planning.
Yeah.
It's all planning.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Oh, it's fantastic.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do.
I don't think we've ever had any of the bands that have come in that have had their own sound engineers that have taken over the board.
Yeah, I'm curious. I was curious about that.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
That group, and they've been with us for a long time, and they do a great job.
So, can I talk a little bit about the beer aspect of it? Sure. So I remember last year the first.
You mean the fun aspect?
Yeah, the fun aspect. Oh no,
the one that makes the blues a little bit easier.
I was going to say it makes the blues a little.
Right.
No, they go together very well. They go to very.
And the blues is not all about depression.
No, no,
it actually
not at
makes
all.
You feel good.
Not at all. It does make you feel good. Yeah. No, but I remember last year it was sort of the bigger brewers came on day 1, and then the smaller brewers, like the more craft. Is that?
Well, it's still a little bit of an experiment, a little bit of experimenting. In day 1, it's handled by more of a. I don't do the beer aspect.
No, I know.
From what I understand, there's kind of like a distributor that has contact with all of these smaller brewers, which is what we want, craft brewers.
Right.
We'll have 20 to 30 brewers that'll come in, and then the second day we were kind of experimenting with getting very, very local brewers like in Concord, in Acton,
in Lowell,
and bringing in 6 or 8 or 10 of them,
Yep.
And seeing how that works out to have a different, a so-called different flavor of beers that come in the next day.
Well, that's
I
kind of
think
like
we have 9 for this year on Sunday, but obviously we'd like to expand that to be sure that we, as it becomes more and more popular, you don't want to be running out of beer.
Right, right. And then there's food too.
Oh yeah.
And then you have all
A
the
lot of
food trucks that come in and all.
Yeah, all the food trucks, the lunch trucks that you see now. That's the big popular food trucks now that are in the cities and that. A lot of the barbecues are coming in with those big barbecue trucks. So I think we have a coordinator for that. The festival, it's quite a the entire festival is quite a thing to put on, and there's people that organize different areas. There's three people that do the beer. There's a person that does all the vendors, whether it's food or whatever, and that's a full-time job for quite a while. It's crunch time in organizing that. But we'll have 5 or 6 major food vendors, and then we'll have other things to add to that, ice cream and all kinds of stuff.
I mean, it's just a,
it's a family event.
It is a family event.
It's not a drunken
no, it
brew
isn't.
fest.
No, it isn't.
By all
There's
means.
people there from all ages.
By all means. And the beers that are served are 4-ounce beers.
Right.
And with the ticket price, 10 samplings come with the price of admission.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And people vote, and they will vote on it.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah. We started that
it's
a
really
few
cool.
years ago. Vote on the best brew at the event. So I have a couple of plaques made, and we give the plaques away to the winners, and it's voted on by the people that are there. This is the way it should be.
I mean, you can go in there at 10:30, and you can leave at 7. I mean, it's a full day event.
Exactly.
There's food and the drink, and there's vendors, and then you can buy jewelry. I mean, I bought jewelry there last year,
And we raffle off a guitar that is each day that's signed by the bands that are playing that day. $5 raffle.
Wow.
So, yeah,
So the headliner on Saturday night is Nikki Hill.
Correct.
And she is out of
South Carolina.
Okay.
And then just before her is Anthony Gomes. He's very much like a Stevie Ray Vaughan, Southern Texas guitar player, dresses the part, the whole thing. Very good guitar player.
And like you said, so Saturday is going to be more of the guitar.
A little bit, probably a little bit more good. Yeah.
And then
rocker style.
Yeah. And then Sunday, I think you said the headliner Sunday. You wanted to get him to play last year, but it was logistically it had come in too late.
It didn't work. He was playing at another festival solo, and to bring his band in for the following day to play our festival, logistics didn't work out. The money didn't work out. So.
And what's his name?
Victor Wainwright.
Victor Wainwright.
So he plays in a separate band with headliners from other bands, and they have a super blues group.
Yeah.
And they play all over the country as well. Again, tight-knit community. So we had already worked it out last year that he was going to play this year. It was just a matter of does he play Saturday or does he play Sunday, and part of that is based on his schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say what works best for him.
Exactly.
So
and we had agreed upon price and all that, which was attractive.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Really? for
Cost-wise,
you guys?
right,
Well, that's great.
But it's different, and every show is different, and every negotiation is different. So
when does it really start ramping up for you when it comes to?
Well,
you say like it could start the week after the Blues and Brews.
Yeah, it's more of a thought there.
Yeah.
I'm jotting down bands. I'll make a list of 10 bands, primary bands that I'm thinking about. The earlier you contact the agent, the earlier they can start the tour with you.
Right.
Anchor the tour with you and then build around it. You have a tendency to get better price. You can have a tendency to get better pricing that way, depending on the artist. But it really hits high gear probably mid-February, where by March you want to have headliners, or not headliners, primary bands set, because after that it's hard to get a hold of them because their schedules fill out really, really quick. I mean, there's bands that are playing that festival in 2 weeks that are already probably booked this weekend next year at another festival.
Oh, wow.
It's that's the way it is. Sometimes that far in advance, people will pay better money to get somebody locked in.
Do you have any local artists or performers playing this year?
Yep. On Saturday, the opening band is Grits and Groceries. They won the Boston Blues Challenge this year.
Oh, okay.
They're a 4-piece.
Oh, that's right. Well, obviously, we said that. Okay.
Grits and Groceries Orchestra, they call themselves, and they're a very tight band, very, very good. And the band on after them is the Delta Generators, and the guitar player plays in both of those bands.
Oh, okay.
And actually, the Delta Generators won that same category years ago.
Okay, years ago.
And they're signed with a major agent, and they tour the country.
But see, this is great for you to sort of expose the local guy. I mean, you've got
the
big
they play a lot of
headliners.
dates. They all play a lot of dates.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
if they're winning blues awards, then
right.
Blues Festival.
Yeah.
Blues. Was it the
Boston
annual
Blues Challenge.
Thank you.
And then on Sunday, opening up is Willie J. Laws. He was originally from Texas, been in Boston for a long time, but he's playing every weekend.
Yeah.
So he's not as though he's new to the scene. He's a very good guitar player. They're a 3-piece band, Texas blues style, funky blues style.
Fun.
Yeah, fun band. And then Gracie Curran in the Highfalutin band. She started in Boston and has a really good following in Boston. I think it was last year. I think she moved to Memphis. Now her address is in Memphis.
Oh,
she
great.
plays there regularly. So
Terrific.
she's coming back home, and on her way, she's playing at a couple of other places along the way.
But it really does sound like a really tight-knit community.
Yeah. And Victor Wainwright and Gracie know each other real well. I mean, they're from the same agent. You just might see the two of them on the stage together.
Oh, fun.
You just might.
Okay. Can I write that in stone or Sharpie?
Pretty much. Yeah,
Tattoo
pretty
it?
much. It'll be fun,
Okay.
believe me. She performs in bare feet, and she's very enthusiastic.
Oh,
and
nice.
She's got a lot of energy, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I look forward to it. So Westford Cat will be there. We're going to be covering, I believe, on Saturday.
As you have
we'll
many
be there.
years, yeah.
Yeah, we do it every year. So
Right.
I really look forward to it. It's funny, I was there last year, and I ran into...
Rain.
No, I was there on Sunday. No,
Oh,
it
you were
felt like
lucky.
rain. It looked
You
like
were
I was in
lucky,
rain.
yeah.
But by the time I had finished interviewing everyone, I was really drenched. My hair was literally drenched. But it was fun. It was fun. The beer was good. Though I don't drink.
The beer was
no,
good.
but I don't drink beer till I shut my camera off. I do. I mean, that's just.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, it was like 4 o'clock when I had my. No, maybe it was 3, because I know I was there for a couple hours.
Yeah, well, the festival on Sunday.
Ends at 5.
Yeah, it's 11 to 7 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday.
Yeah, but so I ran into 2 friends of mine that are musicians that they're for like Facebook friends. I was like friends with them from years ago, but I ran into them, 2 separate people that were there, musicians in Boston.
Right.
They're not blues musicians, but one of them has a recording studio in the city, and another one is in a famous Boston band from years ago. And they're, hey, Patty, oh my God, what are you doing here? And
sometimes they're there because of the festival, or they're seeing a friend of theirs that's playing. And that's how it gets around.
That's what I was going to say. My point is, this isn't. There's families there. There's local people from Westford there, but there's people that come from all over the area that are huge, not just blues fans, but music fans.
Exactly.
And so, they're there to come and see these bands play.
And have a good time.
Have a good time. So there's 5 bands on Saturday.
4 on Sunday.
4 on Sunday.
And then we have a side stage band each day. So there's 11 performances over the weekend.
That's terrific. That's
and
great.
then we have ticket packages. You can buy what's called a weekend pass for $60.
And then there's the VIP lounge where you can go and meet the bands, and it's like cooler and air conditioned, and you have like different pours, and you can sit under like a tent.
Right,
and
we
stuff.
have a VIP ticket, and that it doesn't have to be a weekend ticket, but the weekend ticket for that is $160. But that includes, again, like you said, the air conditioned room, white tablecloth.
Yes, food.
Tables.
There's like a buffet.
Beautiful buffet, unlimited beer and water, and that's where the bands go in and eat, so you can get your picture taken with the band. And, so
that's a cool option.
Flush toilets, I guess. Apparently, that's a big thing.
Yeah, those are always nice. But I mean, it's such a great venue there at Neshoba Valley.
Yeah,
it's so wide open,
well.
and the beer's in one area and the bands are in the other, and you have to have a wristband, so it's not like you have to fear if you bring your 15-year-old in that he's going to be able to sneak beer.
Exactly.
I mean, there's
we have a number
heavily
of wristbands.
monitored.
We have a number of wristbands depending on who's coming in, whether it's a VIP wristband or regular admission or an under 21 admission, that sort of thing.
So it's August 19th and August 20th at the Neshoba Valley Ski Area, the Westford Rotary 16th Annual Blues and Brews Fest.
It is.
John MacKinnon, thank you so much for joining us.
This was fun.
I'll see you on the 19th.
Sounds good.